Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Good to see you all. Who do we have in the house? Evita's in the house. Linda's here. How you doing? Let's see. Linda says, I gave you first for this live stream. Okay, you are the first. Thank you. Gracious, how you doing? Jennifer? Michael, how you doing? Shelly? Robert? H. Bordeaux, how are you doing? Good to see you. User A9 now. Trucker Hersey is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, who else do we have here? There's JR. How you doing, JR? Good to see you, brother. And who else do we have? Colorado Pack Prepper is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to have a little bit of fun today. First, before I even start, hopefully those of you that are the winners of the 2-ounce silver coins from last week are here. I finally got to figure out, I was waiting on the last person to claim their silver, and I finally got it. Had a little bit of a miscommunication there. Mostly my fault, I would have to say, because I didn't notice the name on the email, but got everyone. I'm going to be able to package those up tomorrow and mail them out sometime this week. Okay, but you will get them. All right, I promise you that you will get them. Italian Eddie's in the house. How you doing, Eddie? Good to see you. Let's see who this is. Loam. Let me see. Loam, I got you. I got you. Let me double check. I got everyone ready. Yep, I've got you. I've got everyone's address and information that I need to mail out the silver for. And I'll be mailing them out this week. I know it's been a week, but it took me a while to get the last one. And I don't like making multiple trips to the post office. I like to get them all in one bunch and go mail them out in one shot. It's easier for me to catalog it, and I just don't like making multiple trips. But you will get them. They will be mailed out, okay? So it's good to see everyone here today. And like I said, I think we're going to have a little bit of fun. So for those of you that don't know, I do have an X account now. And I only use it to like post my videos and to check and see what's going on with like the precious metals. I follow some precious metals creators on there and some basic news. All right. So I don't use it for personal stuff, just for this channel, because same reason I don't have Facebook. And I do have Facebook. So I have Facebook and I don't. But the only reason I use Facebook for is for the marketplace. So since if I'm looking for something, I'll get on there and look for it. And if I find it, great. If not, not. That's how I ended up furnishing half of my apartment, was from Marketplace. All right. But if you're not following me on X, and if you want to, some people just don't want to get on there, period. And I understand that. I never got on there on a personal basis either. I just opened it up for this. It's at the Alaska Prepper. That's it. At the Alaska Prepper. So let's see who else is in the house here. John Monroe, how you doing? Good to see you all. All right. And so I'm sure you've been hearing about this all over social media, and we're going to talk a little bit about it today from my perspective, and then we're going to go and see what some other people are doing or what some other people are saying. But I wanted to just have a conversation. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, for those that may be new here, this is really for you all right? So Today, I actually have something that I would like to talk about, but most times when I do a live stream, it's because I want to answer any questions that you may want to ask on here, and or share anything that you may want to share with the community. So if you have any questions to ask about anything, it doesn't have to be about any one thing. Any questions that you want to ask about anything, or any comments that you want to make, that you want to share with everyone, that you want me to read out loud, go ahead and put it all in caps, and I will try to catch it. Sometimes I can't, and most of the times I think I can, but sometimes I cannot. All right. Oh, hey, Loam, you're local. Hey, if you're local, let me know. Can I call you? I'll just call you and we'll meet somewhere at Costco or something. Yeah, you'll save me a few dollars. You'll save me a few bucks in postage. So if you are local, just give me let me know if I can call you. I have your number, but I told you all that I will only use your number for the shipping. And maybe we can meet somewhere. Let me take a look at your address. I never looked at your address. Well, look at that. Isn't that something? I never really looked at your address. I usually just copy and paste. Yeah, let me give you a call after the live stream, and we can set up a time to meet, and I'll just bring it right over to you, okay? Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. All right. I've done so many of these, ladies and gentlemen, shipping stuff out, that a lot of the times I don't even look at the address. I just copy, I paste, and then I make the label and I send it out. And that's usually how I do it. So that's pretty cool. So we had someone local from here in Fairbanks win some of that silver. That's awesome. Good for you. Let's see what else we got going on here. Well, I hope you've all had a good weekend so far. And so the big story on the street, and before we even start, let me go ahead and mention this. I put out a video earlier today, about that guy right there. You see that little lantern? Now, let me go ahead and turn off my studio lights, all right? Let me turn them off. Boom. See that little lantern back there? That's called the ion light. And I put out a video about that because it's a lantern that operates on, I've never seen it before, all right? I've never seen something like this before. I found out through a little bit of research that they actually make different ones, but this thing is awesome. It doesn't take batteries. You don't need to charge it. Excuse me. You don't need to charge it because it doesn't have any USB charging. It has no batteries whatsoever. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. The video is only like 7 or 8 minutes long. So go watch that video. I'm sure that you're going to really like this a lot because these things are awesome. But that's all I'll say about that. Go check them out. And by the way, I do have a link for that on that video. And company is offering some free stuff that you want to get. That's free if you do decide to get it. They're not expensive, but man, I'll tell you what, I really like that thing. I want to get several more because they're just an awesome little light. And it puts out a lot of light for what it is. And you can't really tell right now with it being on, because the room is pretty much lit up with the sunlight that's coming from the windows and such. But if you watch the video, I actually turned all the lights off during the dark in my apartment and walked around. And it gives you a good sense of how much light it puts out. And for what it is, it's pretty awesome. Let's see. North of the 52nd, checked my site on Amazon. Not available yet. Don't check on Amazon. Use my link. My link brings you right to the storefront. And they also offer you some extra free stuff that you really want to have with it. All right. So just go use the link. I do believe that I left the link on a pinned comment and on the description of my video. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, usually I made up my mind when I came back to YouTube after taking the 6-7 months, however long it was, hiatus. That if I review something, it's because I really think it's cool, because I really want to review it, not just because I want to try it to see how it is, but because, hey, if they send it to me and I really think it's cool, I'm going to review it and let you all see it. And there's a lot of things that have not made the cut. A lot of times I get sent something and I'm like, hey, I'm not going to review this. I'm not doing a video on this, and this is why. All right. And that's just the way it is, right? I have to really like something in order to review. And that's pretty cool. And by the way, yeah, and that is prepping on the cheap. That is a light that pretty much lasts forever. without you ever needing any batteries. But that's enough about that. Just go check that video out. I really think that you'll really like seeing it and you'll really like it. I'm still here. I'm still with the living, dirty like the government. I'm still with the living. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in today. Let me see. Miguel says, I'm about to get a couple. Yeah, man, those things are awesome. I mean, you know, we live in a world where we're really lucky the times that we live in. I know that there's a lot of challenges, you know, that it seems like there's always one crisis after another. And in my opinion, that has a lot to do with the cycle that we're going through right now, the fourth turning. But we live in a time where the standard of living that most people have around the world is like ages ahead of the standard of living that people had just 100 years ago. It's almost, you can't compare it almost. Some things are good, a lot better. Some things maybe we wanted to go back to the way it was. But overall, I would say that we live in a pretty good time right now, even with all the challenges that we have. Let's see. Let's see. Just look up at the Alaska. Let me see if I can put up a link right here. Let me see. Here we go. Let me see if I can. I don't even know how to get a link on here. Let's see. Maybe if I do this. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up. Here, let me put it right here. It's at the AK Prepper. I'm going senile, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, I'm going senile. At the AK Prepper. So if you go all the way to the bottom over here, let's see. That right there is me on X. Okay, let me get this banner off of here. All right, there we go. Right, and I do have that same link on the description of this video and every other video. So, okay, let's see. Mandatory metals, collect cows and chickens. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Okay, what else do we have going on here? Oh, is Silver Dragons on right now live? Man, I'll tell you what, Silver Dragons, I love his channel. I've been subscribed to him for a long time. And Silver Dragons, I do believe, is the one that just went over 400,000 subscribers. That's awesome. That is so good for being like a precious metals channel. The other one that I follow is Smart Silver Stacker. He's got a great channel too. And if you haven't checked him out, go check him out because he's about to hit 100,000 subscribers. And he's a really smart guy. Now, after this live stream, ladies and gentlemen, usually around 2 p.m. my time, usually the International Stacker goes live. Now, let me tell you something. I am the worst. If I wanted to consider YouTube my business, which in a way it is because it's how I earn a living now, but I digress. I am the worst business person there is. Because let me tell you what. The International Stacker, his live streams are awesome. And I'm not collaborating with him or anything like that. He doesn't even know I'm saying this. I'm just telling you, his live streams are awesome. So if you want to go to his live stream, I think it starts around 2 p.m. my time, so about 6 p.m. Eastern time. He usually starts around the beginning or the opening of the Shanghai Metals Exchange is usually when he starts on Sundays. And his live streams are just so much fun. And I catch myself there every single morning having my coffee at about 4 o'clock a.m. my time, because I normally get up at about 3:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, have my coffee. And, I usually catch his live stream at the opening of the market, the metals market, at about 4 a.m. my time. And it's just a lot of fun. He's broken the code on how to make doing live streams really entertaining, a lot of fun and community based. So what I mean to say about that is that here I am having a live stream telling you that, hey, this guy's live stream is 100 times better than mine. But it's a lot of fun. So I hope you go check him out and subscribe. I think he might have broken 60,000 subscribers by now. But I'll tell you what, give him a year and he'll be up to 500,000 subscribers. That's how much fun his channel is. So let's see, who else do we have in the house? Jacqueline, how you doing, Jacqueline? Well, I'm glad that you're here today, so welcome. Actually, I just got a hold of Billy here not too long ago, less than a week ago, and he was battling a really bad cold. He said that he had a sinus infection that had lasted for a few weeks already, but that he was starting to get out of it. So hopefully he's doing well. But I did catch up with him a little bit ago. Let's see. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to go over with you all, what happened in the market. And, usually I don't go like live and say, hey, the market is crashing and all this kind of stuff, because what's going to happen is going to happen. I don't want to have any knee-jerk reaction. I don't overreact to something that may not be, too much to talk about. So I usually wait 1 or 2 days or 3 days after something big happens to actually get on there. Get on here and talk about it or do a video about it or stuff like that. But I'm sure that all of you know by now that what happened to the metals market on Friday was a coordinated event by not only bankers, not only governments, but by the Federal Reserve, the metals, LBMA, CME, all these things. Okay. So after waiting a day or two, it comes out that JP Morgan actually got rid of their silver shorts, got rid of, I think it was 633 contracts or something like that, or maybe more. Got rid of all of their shorts at the bottom of that beatdown that silver got on Friday. So it wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't, it's a cycle, which it is kind of like part of a cycle, but correlation does not equal causation, right? So, in my opinion, I can't say this for a fact, but in my strong opinion, this was a coordinated effort by a whole bunch of very, very, elite people, banks, governments, etc. And normally I don't get upset at that kind of stuff. I was actually looking at the markets in awe. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. This is awesome. And let me tell you why I told myself this is awesome. Oh, let me say thank you very much. Missy, thank you very much for joining the Ladies and Gentlemen's Club. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to start putting up short videos on Patreon and the Ladies and Gentlemen's Club for members that are like the behind the scenes videos. All right. I actually already worked on one and I'm editing it so I can put it up. All right, so I'm trying to give you all a little something extra since you all support me, and I truly do appreciate it. Let's see. Angela says, International Stacker gave you a shout out. Yeah, he's a great guy. Well, that big giveaway that he's doing, I sent him some silver so that he can give away. So that's probably why he was shouting me out. But no, he's a great guy. I love watching his live streams. Really, really good. 20 on Pump 5, how you doing? Good to see you. So as I was saying, that was a coordinated effort by a lot of very powerful elite, right? That needed to save their buddies and try to save as many banks as they could. And more than likely, you all remember, if you haven't heard, that a major bank in in Illinois, I'm not sure if it was in Chicago, Illinois, but in Illinois actually went down. It's gone. And that's part of their plan as well. Part of their plan is also to get rid of as many smaller banks as they can so they can consolidate the banking system into as few large banks as they can in order so that they can then bring us into that digital currency system that I'm sure they already have planned out. But like I was saying, when the market was going down on Friday, I'm sitting here watching and I was like in awe. I'm like, oh my God. And then I was like, yes. You know why, ladies and gentlemen, I was saying yes to myself is because when these things happen, you can profit both ways. I won't even talk about, I'll give you an example of how. Okay, I'll give you an example of how you can profit both ways. I'm not going to tell you what I did. and I'm not giving you any kind of financial advice. I have to say that because I am on the internet. So let's say, for example, that when you looked at the charts a month ago, you said, I think it's going to get around this high, and then I think it's going to take a break and maybe come down. And then the market actually got that high. And then let's say that you didn't take your entire stack. If you watch my video on how I allocate my stack, I take a percentage that I never touch. I take a percentage that's for my emergency fund. And then I take a percentage that's for me to do whatever I want and to speculate. I took my speculative part of that stack, just hypothetical, and I sold it at a little over 100 per ounce. Because, hey, if it keeps going up, okay, and then that's it. I have something else that I can do with that cash anyways, if it keeps going up, right? But I really think it's going to go down. So hypothetically, I'm asking myself, I really think it's going to go down once it hits this level, not knowing that it was going to go up another $20 before it started crashing. But I went ahead and sold it at about 100, and then I waited. So I took the dollars that I traded that silver for at about 100. I held on to those dollars. I didn't spend them. And then when it went down to like 80, I called the coin shop and I said, hey, are you buying right now? No, excuse me. I said, hey, are you selling right now? And they said, yes. I said, okay, I'll be right over there. So then I went back over there. I bought back the exact number of ounces that I had sold, hypothetically. And then when I got those ounces back, I still had $1,000 left over. So when the market's going up, that's great. And when it's going down, if you know what to do, if you have a little bit of experience and you pay attention to the markets, and you don't have anything better to do, right? You can take advantage of that. Now, do I recommend that anyone does that? It's a little bit risky, but if you have something else that you can do with that fiat currency, in case the price just kept going up, then that's going to be your plan B. So for example, my plan B was that, hey, if the market does just keep going up, I'm just going to take these funds and I'm going to invest them into this mining company that I've been looking into for a while. And that's what I would have done. But I was able to just go right back there, buy back the same number of ounces of silver that I had previously sold, and still have a little over $1,000 left after everything's said and done. And that's $1,000 profit in what? In 2 or 3 days. So not too bad. But like I said, the reason why I was cheering was that, oh my goodness, yeah, we're going to have an opportunity here to make a few $100s and either add to our stock or add to our mining stocks. So yeah, hey, I apologize if you get hit with an ad here or there, but it's one of the things with YouTube. The algorithm likes it better when you have ads in a live stream as well, and it pushes out your videos more that way. All right. I'm trying to do everything I can to get back on the good graces of Gemini 6, which is the AI that YouTube uses now to recommend your videos. Let's see. Oh no, someone said, oh my goodness, what next? What did I miss? What did I miss, Jonesy or Jones? There is no discount code for the lantern. What you do is they give you some free stuff that ends up being about 15%. So it ends up being about 15% of the price for the lantern. All right, so there's no discount code for it, but you're going to get some free plates that come with it. And I'd rather get that, to tell you the truth, because you're getting a better deal. You don't have to buy them in the future. And those things last forever. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could tell you that I can schedule a live stream at the exact same time, the exact same day every week or a couple of days, but I just can't. Things pop up here and there, and I just don't want to have a set schedule, right? I just want to, I want to do it when I want to do it. If you understand what I mean. Let's see real quick. All right, so the second thing I wanted to talk about, we all know that this crash was manipulated, right? That it was planned. The thing that I believe that we should be upset at, really upset at, is that do you think that our government, that the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission, do you think they don't know that this was a planned attack? Do you think they don't know that this was manipulation? Do you think that the chairman of the Federal Reserve doesn't know that this was manipulation by the big banks and by the metals markets, the CME, the COMEX, the LBMA? They know, ladies and gentlemen. That's the part that I would say would upset me more so than what they actually did, because the banks are the banks and they're never going to change. They are never going to change. Have you all ever heard the story about the frog and the scorpion? I'm going to tell it to you really quick. There's a frog getting ready to cross a pond, and there's a scorpion right next to him. And the scorpion says, "Hey, Mr. Frog, can I get a ride on your back?" And the frog says, "Well, no, Mr. Scorpion, because you'll sting me, and then I will be unalived." I guess that's what you can say on YouTube now. And the scorpion tells the frog, "Well, why would I do that? Because if I unalive you, then I'm also going to unalive myself." And the frog thinks about it and he says, "You know what? That makes a lot of sense." And being that the frog has a good heart, he says, "Okay, get on my back." So the frog goes and starts swimming across the pond. And when they're about halfway there in the middle of the pond, the scorpion stings the frog. And the frog says, "What did you do? Now we're both going to be unalive." And the scorpion, i.e., the banks, tells the frog, "I am what I am." So the banks are what they are. They've proven time and time again that they do not care about the people that they're supposed to be servicing with their bank services. They don't care. All they care is that they make their money on the backs of the people that they are servicing. So they are the scorpion. So it doesn't bother me what they did, because they will never change. But what bothers me about this is that where are the representatives? Where are the people that we, the people, put in power in order to defend our liberties and protect us from vultures like the banksters? Well, unfortunately, a lot of people in Congress are either lawyers or banksters or financial people. So that would be the part that upset me more than what actually happened, is that these entities, they get away with it every single time to their benefit, to no one else's benefit but their own. So that's the thing. But ladies and gentlemen, look, anyone that's afraid of what's happening right now in the metals market, and in all honesty, I hope that it goes down a little bit more. I hope that it tests that 70 level. I hope that the silver at least goes back down and tests that 70 level, $71 level. And I hope that gold goes back down and tests that $3,600, $3,700 level. Because in my opinion, that is very, very bullish. Very bullish, because all of the fundamentals, everything about gold and silver today is the same that it was on Friday or last Thursday or last week or last month. All of the fundamentals are still the same. Nothing has changed. There will come a time, and I would say probably within the next 5 to 10 years, where there could be a very big possibility that the government will try to confiscate silver. They will try, but I don't believe that we're going to fall for that. I think that if they came out right now and said, "Hey, we need you to give us your silver. It's national security," I think that most people, I mean, the vast majority of people will be like, "No way, man. That's not going to happen." Because by the time that they even consider doing that, silver, especially more so than gold, will be so valuable. And I don't mean valuable in a nominal sense. Yes, it's going to be a lot more expensive to buy it in nominal terms. Like, I don't even want to tell you where I think it's going to go eventually in the next 5 years, because you're going to think I'm crazy. Okay. But it's going to be so high as far as how many dollars it's going to take to purchase an ounce of silver that people are going to be like, "Heck no. We've learned what you've done to the purchasing power of this dollar right here. Why in the world would I give this up so that you can give me dollars that do nothing but go down in value year after year after year. So in a way, we can thank the last few administrations for inflating the money supply and creating as much inflation as they have. Because although it's been a very tough lesson for many millions or tens of millions of Americans and other people around the world, it's a lesson that is not very easily forgotten. Because when you feel like all you're doing is working to survive, that's something that you don't forget very easily. So maybe it was a lesson worth living through, the stuff that they put us through in the last few years. And the thing is too, is it's going to get a little bit harder. It's going to get a little more harder. There's going to be more crises as the next several years come, but we will eventually shift into spring. We are right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are right now in the middle of what is a paradigm change. I've been talking about this for years. We're right in the middle of it. We're shifting from one to the next. And this is the time right now that people have to be prepared the best that they can and stay prepared, because crises will continue for the next several years. So that's what I see as far as silver goes. Me personally, I'm not worried about anything. If silver goes down a little bit more tomorrow, that's awesome. I think it would be great if silver went down another 10% tomorrow. It would give more people an opportunity to buy. It would give more people an opportunity to get into investments that they otherwise maybe wouldn't have gotten in, that has to do with the precious metals, because in the long term, it's only got one way to go. I think I've already disclosed this. Not financial advice, of course, but I think that by the end of 2026, at a minimum, so go ahead and mark this video or bookmark, whatever it is that you call it. At a minimum, silver is going to be at least $150 per ounce, at a very minimum. I'm being extremely conservative. I think that between 150, I would say to $200 to $300, but maybe closer to $250. That would be like my I don't want to say my high, because I think it can go even higher than that. Because I think that by the time that silver hits $150 to $200 an ounce, that's when every single person you talk to is going to know about it. Everyone's going to say, hey, do you know what's going on with silver? And right now, you're not really hearing that too much, because the media is doing a very good job at keeping that, at keeping it as quiet as they can. It's like, I forgot the name of that guy who's a hack on one of the financial channels. But I remember he was one of the guys that was saying, yeah, buy this stock back in 2008. And then the next day it went bankrupt. But he was saying, yeah, silver is nothing. If I had silver, I'd sell it all right now. He's putting that out to millions and tens of millions of people out in our country, at least here in the US. Right. And that's doing a disservice to the people, but they're all in this together. They are all in this together. And that's why, in a way, social media has a good part about it and it's got a bad part about it. The bad part, you already know. The good part, in my opinion, is that at least you get real people telling you about their real experiences, telling you about the things that they see to be true, that are not being paid by multi-billion-dollar corporations to try to propagandize you, right? So that's, the good thing about social media. So even though we had the biggest drop, nominally speaking, in nominal terms in silver last Friday in the history of mankind, someone called it a 10 sigma event. And I had to figure out, what in the world does that mean, a 10 sigma event? And what that means is that in the entirety of all of the years that humanity has been alive, and that even the earth has been here, that the odds of it happening is not even 1 to those numbers of billions and zillions of years. So even though it was a 10 sigma event, the bankers, they had a different they had something different in mind for that. MB, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, that was Kramer, right? Wasn't that Kramer? Yeah, whatever Kramer says, I do the opposite, right? Oh man. Okay, what else do we have? Let's see. A9 says, when you look at the 4-hour chart, do you see inverse HNS forming, head and shoulders forming? Well, a reverse head and shoulders is very bullish. I haven't really looked at the 4-hour chart. To tell you the truth, I take a look mainly when I look at this thing, I look at like the 1-hour chart, the 5-minute chart, and then I look at the daily chart. The daily chart, in my opinion, for mid to longer term is very important. It's the one that sets the trends, right? So, but that's just me. That's just a novice technical analyst. I am by no means, a professional or even really, really super good at it. But yeah, a reverse head and shoulders, it could be forming. Let me take a quick look. I'm not going to bring you guys in, but let me take a quick look. Like, yeah, right now I'm on the daily. When you look at it on the daily, all you see is a straight line up. But let's go ahead and let me see. I don't see any questions really. I think maybe here. I don't want to miss any one of your questions. Hey, how you doing, Laura? Hello, good to see you. Let's see. I wanted to share some stuff with you off of my X account that I just think it's really funny, and hopefully you can get a laugh out of it. Let's see. Share screen. Right here. All right. So I hope you guys can see that. Yeah. So if you're not following me on X, I'm not extremely active on there, but if you want to follow me on here, hopefully I can maybe grow this platform a little bit. But so I was looking on X and I was looking at stuff, following stuff from from last Friday, and now look at this right here. Some of this stuff is pretty deep that I really agree with. It's what I've been talking about when it comes to precious metals and the debasement of the fiat currency that we're made to use. Imagine working 9 to 5 for 50 years. Then the Fed prints 40% of the total money supply and inflates away 20 years of your work. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what they do. And it's not by accident. It's 100% on purpose. They know exactly what they're doing, and it's 100% on purpose. Hey, can you all give me a number 1 on the chats if I'm coming in loud and clear, just to make sure that I'm not messing anything up as I take a look at a few of these memes with you all. Oh, well, hello, Sherry. Welcome. All right, I already got a number 1. This is something that I like to talk about right here. We'll go back to this here in a minute. Henry says there will be many that will lose everything. That is a fact, and I believe that. And I'm not telling you what you need to believe or think or do ever, all right? But I can tell you what I think. I think that, God says that there will always be the poor, right? There will always be poor, right? And I think that a lot of the people that have been convicted, had a conviction of putting away a little bit of wealth in the form of precious metals, let's say, in form of silver, which I think is going to be the biggest winner in the history of man as far as adding value and not just preserving value, right? I think that, well, at least me, I find that I have a responsibility if it realizes itself into what I think it will, right? I think that I would have a responsibility to help some of those that do lose everything, right? So, especially within my family, within my community, because there are some people that you will never be able to convince. And it's very easy to blame them. It's very easy to say, hey, I told you so. But ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand something, and that is that the power of propaganda, especially if you've been propagandized from the time you started going to school to the time you got out of college, and then going forward another 10 or 15 years. Look, I didn't wake up to the way that things really are until I was in my early 40s. I didn't wake up to that stuff till I was in my early 40s. And thank goodness that I did, right? But people have been propagandized their entire life. And it doesn't matter what you tell them. It doesn't matter how true it is. They've heard it so much that they will never change until the day comes that they have no choice but to change, because everything's already changed in front of their eyes, and fast enough to where they can't do anything about it. So I believe that when this new monetary system comes to be and is put in place, and a lot of people are going to really suffer a lot, I believe that at least that I would want to use some of that to help people that need help, especially within my family, within my community. So anyways, because it's true what Henry says, a lot of people are going to lose everything. All right. But if we're there for each other, whatever country you live in or whatever community you're in, if you're there for each other, man, just imagine how strong the community that you live in will be, how much stronger it will be, and how much stronger it will make us as a people, as far as not allowing governments to steal our freedoms anymore, because this is going to change everything about our lives. And it really is. And I know that maybe, AP, you're being hyperbolic. No, ladies and gentlemen, you just wait and see. You give it another 5 to 8 years. I say another 5 to 8 years, and we're going to be living in a completely new reality than what it is that we live in today. All right. But let's go back. Let's go back to reading some of those funny things. Let's see. Evita says, that's so true. My parents are in their 80s and just realized the lies they have been told. Yeah. Propaganda is a very, very strong tool. So let's take a look. What else do we have here? I was looking at these today, and I thought that some of these were just so funny. So I ended up saving a few of them to share with you all. All right. So what's the next one that now there's one in here. If you have children watching this, there's one in here that has a cuss word in it. Right. And I know I'm not trying to be angel AP. Right. I'm not an angel. Right. But I like to make these family friendly, but it's got a very strong message behind it. All right. So I figure I'll let you all know ahead of time. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read that part, but it's just one cuss word. Look at this one, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see. Swapped crypto to silver at 125. So he took his crypto earnings when they're at their low and swapped it for silver when silver hit 125, right? Actually, it was like 121, but anyways. And then silver dumps to 88. Then he panic sold his silver at 90 and bought back into crypto, and then crypto dumped another 30%. That's not doing your research. And this poor guy is eating his cold soup with his diluted wine. Oh, some of these things have me just cracking up. Look at this guy right here. Look at this guy. This guy he bought Bitcoin at 125,000. He sold it at 82,000. Then he bought silver at $119, and then it dumped 32% immediately the same day. Oh my goodness. Now, let me see if I can play you this 40-second clip. Let me see if there's any music. Okay, there's no music on here. I'm going to go ahead and play you this 40-second clip by Ray Dalio. He's considered to be one of the best investors that there is. He used to own the largest hedge fund, I think. I'm going to go ahead and put the volume up as high as I can. And when I turn this on, can you please give me a number one if you can hear what he's saying, if you can hear him, or if I have to up my volume.
It's the beginning of the end of the monetary system as we know it. It's not just the US dollar, it's the fiat monetary currencies. So the UK, the euro, Japan, China all have similar debt problems and so on, and are dealing with the same interrelationships, which is the reason you're seeing gold being chosen by the central banks. They want a currency. Gold has always been the main currency, and it's the only non-fiat currency. In other words, not the currency that can't be printed, that they want. And so that's why you're seeing central banks move and sovereign wealth funds move to gold. And that's the nature of the shift of the monetary system. It's the
All right, so Ray Dalio is saying this is the beginning of the end for the monetary system that we have right now, which is a fiat currency or a debt-based monetary system. And as he stated here, it's not just the US dollar, it's everything. Now, what I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that I don't know what they're going to change it to exactly. We're probably still going to have paper bills and stuff, but let's say that we still have dollar bills, Federal Reserve notes. The system can still change and us use the same currency or fiat currency that we've been issued. When they talk about the system changing, what I think about is what's the definition of the currency that you're using. That's what changes. Is the definition of, in the case of the United States of America, and pretty much really the whole world, because we do hold the world reserve currency still. So what changes is the definition of the dollar. What is going to be the new definition of the dollar when compared to labor? So right now, for example, let's say that it costs the average family of four $150,000 a year to have a middle class standard of living. And let's say that that family of four has a mom and a dad that work full time. Well, it costs that family of four 4,000 hours of work every year in order for them to have a middle class standard of living. Now, when they change the system, we may still be using the same dollar. We may still be using something that's called the Federal Reserve note, whatever it may be. When they change it, the real question is what's going to be the definition of that currency that we're using? Is the definition translated to labor going to be the same, going to be better, or going to be worse? And let me remind you that throughout the history of at least the last 120 years or so, every time that government has changed the definition of the dollar, it's gotten worse for the working person. Meaning that if you earn a living with a wage or a salary, your standard of living is being diminished more and more. So why would it be any different during the next transition to where we get a new definition to the dollar than it was the last 4 or 5? I would say that it's not going to be different, that most people are going to be a lot worse off than they are now, but maybe they'll feel a little bit better because of propaganda. So at least that's the way that I see it. All right, let's see. What else did I come up with over here? What else did I get? Let me know if you all like this kind of stuff, because a lot of times I look at stuff and I just sit there. I'm like, man, that is awesome. That's so funny. Or this guy makes sense, but I never bring it up because I'm not sure, if you all want me to use up your time doing this kind of stuff. But I find this kind of stuff to be a lot of fun. So here, the UK's largest refiner and retail dealer, Baird and Company, has shut down online sales. And ladies and gentlemen, to tell you something, the arbitrage between the East and the West in the price of physical silver and gold is ridiculous. I do believe I read somewhere that in China right now, silver's trading at about 125 or something like that, and that in India is trading even higher than that. So eventually, price discovery will take over. Okay, so here this says that people who got messed over in silver watching crypto. This is so funny. So these guys, these are people that lost a whole bunch in silver. Now they're watching the cryptos get wrecked. They're just laughing. Look at them. A good laugh is always good to have, ladies and gentlemen. A good laugh is always good to have. All right, what's the next one here? Uh, my goal was to make 50,000 doing trading in 2026, and I'm only 75,000 more. I only have $75,000 more to go. So this guy is pretty much contemplating why it is that he's $25,000 in the hole. Okay, so let's take a look and see what does this one here said. This is now those of you that may not be subscribed to Bald Guy Money. Great channel. He usually puts a video out every Sunday, and every once in a while he'll put a midweek video out. But this guy is the real deal. He's really good. So he's trying to bring this into perspective for everyone that thinks that silver really crashed. All right, silver price on Friday closed at $13.38 up for the month. So on Friday, the silver price was $13.38 higher than the beginning of the month, right? Which is huge. Can you imagine 5 years ago when silver used to go up by 10 cents or 20 cents in a day, and we were like, oh my goodness, silver went up 20 cents today. And now here, just in the month of January, silver closed up about $13 for the month, which is huge, right? So it's not hasta la vista, though, he says, and he'll be back. So what he's trying to say here is that even though silver took a $31, $32 dump on Friday because of, you all know why, manipulation, right? Insider stuff, that even though it took that big hit, that it still closed almost $14 up for the month of January, which is huge. Let's see. Gold Silver HQ says, waiting for the market to open again. Yeah, today's market is going to be like the Super Bowl. It's kind of like waiting for the Super Bowl for the market to open today. And it says, going to be a wild day tomorrow. And to tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen, I feel the same way. I'm pretty anxious for the market to start just to see what's going to happen. And the reason why I can say that, is because I'm not nervous about it, because I know what the real fundamentals of silver is. I know what the real fundamentals of the monetary system that we're governed by today is. I know all that stuff. So even so, if silver does take another dump, if it goes down another 10% or 20%, I don't care. All I know is that that's going to be a buying opportunity for me, not a financial advisor, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that. Do your own research. You should become an expert at this stuff, because this is what we're going to be using in the future in order to be able to trade back and forth. Maybe not actual silver coins, but it's going to be something that's backed up by something that is real. You know, I was at the coin shop here the other day, and I saw something that was really cool. So when silver took a dump, I went to the coin shop that day, and there was a lot of people buying. And there was a lady that was looking, you know, she was waiting in line, and she was looking at the silver and the cases. And I'm like, man, it's really nice to see so many people here actually buying silver, you know? And she says, well, I don't know anything about silver, but my son called me and said, Mom, you got to take all the money out of my savings and go buy as much silver with it as you can. And I'm like, well, how old is your son? And she said, he's 16 years old. And I'm like, what? 16 years old? And she said, yeah, right now he's on a bus on his way to Anchorage for some kind of a school event. And he called me from the bus and told me to go to the bank right away and take out all his savings and go buy silver with it. And I'm thinking of this kid, 16 years old, high schooler, and a bus on his way down to an event, to a school event, and he's watching the markets. That is awesome. And so then I asked the mom, I said, so you said you don't know anything about silver? She's like, no. He's been following silver and stuff like this for a really long time. He just loves it. And I'm like, you need to learn from your son. Make sure that you have your son teach you what he knows about silver, because it sounds to me like he already knows an awful lot. So that, ladies and gentlemen, gives me hope for this next generation that's coming up. Let's see, what else do we have here? What else do we have here? Boom, boom, right here. Okay, so this tweet right here by Pierre Meadows says, this wasn't talking about last Friday. This wasn't silver collapsing or physical silver collapsing. It was paper reacting to a strong dollar. Well, I can't agree to that 100%. Maybe that was part of it. I think that the majority of it, though, was, in my opinion, a lot of big banks and a lot of elite organizations crowding the market so that they can get rid of their shorts. And for those of you that weren't here earlier, JP Morgan got rid of the rest of their shorts, I believe, at about $78. So at the bottom of the market, at the bottom of the drop, they got rid of the rest of their shorts. Rio Metal didn't flood the market. Absolutely not. That's the same game they've been playing for decades now. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's see. Rashad has to say silver's 45-year breakout could not end in 2 months. I agree 100%. I mean, it took 45 years to get from here to get to here. It's not going to be over just right now, 2 months later. The move is just starting. Recent sell-off is a desperate act to contain silver's move, but it is going to backfire. Silver is just getting warmed up. Have to agree 100%. Here, No Limit says, tomorrow will be insane. And listen to what the CME just did, right? And in my opinion, I am very happy that they're doing this because they're going to expose the paper fraud that they've been pushing for exactly what it is. So what they're doing is what they think will work, but it's going to backfire on them immensely. Right, so the CME is doing margin hikes, right? I believe it's starting tomorrow, starting February 2nd, and maintenance costs are going to skyrocket. So look at what gold is going to. 33% of a contract they have to pay in cash. Silver is going to be 36%. They might as well make it 100% because the paper market is going to collapse anyways. So if you understand this, ladies and gentlemen, for example, where it says silver 36%, it means that in order for you to control a contract of silver, which is equivalent to 5,000 ounces of silver, that you have to come up with 36% of what those 5,000 ounces would cost. So let's say that silver was trading at $100 an ounce. 50,000 times 100 is 5 million. No, 5 million, yes. 50,000 times 100 is 5 million. Okay, so is it 5 million? What's 50,000 times 100, ladies and gentlemen? 50,000 times, 5 million. Okay, 50,000 times 100 is 5 million. So they would have to take 5 million multiplied times 36%, $180,000 or $1.8 million. So it would cost someone that wanted to trade one contract of silver $1.8 million in order to get in the game. Right? That's what this means. It used to be a lot less than that. It used to be like 10% or maybe 5 or 6%. But this is what they're doing in order to shake the leaves off the tree. The small traders, the small speculators, they're going to be jumping ship, and it could cause the nominal price of silver and gold and platinum and palladium to go down even further. But it won't be long-lived. It definitely won't be long-lived. So if I had to say that there was a reason why tomorrow the market, one contract is 5,000 ounces of silver, right? Yes. I hope I didn't say something different. If I had to say that there was one reason why the market tomorrow may start out a little bit lower, may go a little lower, is because of those margins. Because 36%, they might as well make it 100%. Because once they make it 100%, then you are only trading physical. Because why trade paper when you have to pay the physical price of the metal anyways to be able to trade it? All right, listen to this. Here, let's see. Let's double check what I gave you as far as information. JP Morgan closed 3.17 million ounces of silver shorts exactly at the bottom of Friday's silver crash. All right. JP Morgan issued all 633 of Friday's silver delivery notices as a settlement of $78.29, which was pretty much the bottom of that crash. And why isn't anyone at the SEC or the government doing anything about it, looking into this, especially on a bank that has already been convicted, or people within it have been convicted in the past of manipulating the precious metals market, especially the silver market? Why? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we all know why. We all know why. Let's see. David Lee. Okay, this one is not. Okay, yeah, look at this. Look at this. The day after gold and silver prices collapse, in Shanghai, gold silver market is packed with people, but pricing of merchandise is becoming tricky. So the shops were selling the day after Friday, so yesterday, shops were selling gold at $5,640 and silver at $136.80 USD, while our silver was down to about 85, and while our gold was down to about 5,000, 5,100. So for those of you that don't understand what I mean by an arbitrage, that's exactly what it is. This is an arbitrage right here, because as they were selling it for 5,600, we were selling it for 4,900. So what do you think China is going to do? They're going to be buying gold at 48 or 4,900, right? They're going to be buying it. They're going to be sucking gold and silver from the West, from us, and bringing it to them. That's what arbitrage is. And that is why these two prices, 56.40, for example, and 48.27, that's why these two prices have to find a median. They have to find equilibrium. That way there is not arbitrage, at least not that much arbitrage, because you can make a lot of money if you had the expertise to allocate all of the gold and silver and be able to ship it over there at a difference of what, $45 an ounce? That's crazy. Now check this out. These silver holders last week, all right? Silver holders, and this silver holders today, they are holding out for dear life. Last week it was all fun and games. We are partying. We are going. Oh no, look at what's happening. I think that's it. Oh man, I'll tell you what, I think those things are so funny. So hey, you all let me know if you like that kind of stuff. If you don't, I still look at that kind of stuff. I just find that some of them are really funny and I want to share with you all. Okay, what time is it? Oh, well, we're already an hour in. We are already an hour in. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what we'll do. If you want, if you have any questions or comments you want to share, put it all in caps. All right. Let me know if you enjoyed that. Let me know if you enjoyed me going through those little things with you, because I really don't like to waste anyone's time. All right. And I'll try to include maybe a few every now and then, when when I do a live stream. And for those of you that just joined in, make sure that you watch my video from this morning. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that were here during the beginning, that thing is still going full steam ahead. And you can leave it on like that pretty much forever, right? And you'll never have to charge it, recharge it. Don't have to use solar, no USB, no nothing. This is, in my opinion, like a forever light. So if you didn't watch this morning's video, go check it out, because these things are really awesome. I really, really like it. I wouldn't be showing it to you or talking to you about it if I didn't like it. And in all honesty, I have to find a new flashlight company or a new lantern company, because unfortunately, Hybrid Lights, which is, I actually have to take their link off my page. Unfortunately, they had to shut down because of the tariffs. So they had to shut their business down, and they sent me an email letting me know. And I'm like, man, I'm really sorry to hear that, because I really think that they're a very, very good flashlight and lantern company, right? And it just seems that a day or so after I found out about that I ended up getting this in the mail, and it happens to be really, really good. I really, really like this. I wish that they would make flashlights, actual dedicated flashlights that has the same technology. I'm going to have to see if I can contact my rep over there and see what he says. So, Paul, if you're watching, can you guys talk to engineering and see if you can do flashlights like this? because that would be a very big hit. And now who knows, maybe they're working on some, and maybe they even have some and I just don't know about it. I did go look at their site, but I think that would be awesome in a flashlight. Yes. What do you guys think? Let's see. I'm looking for all caps. Let me see. The Lambist, I think I'll get at least one. Yeah, I mean, try it out. I think they're awesome. I think that once you get one and you see how easy they are to use and how well they work, I think you'll end up getting more. Right? Make sure that you use my link if you're going to get that lantern. All right, and the video that I put out this morning, because using my link will guarantee you a free set of plates. All right. So yeah, go watch that video. It's only about 8 minutes long. Okay, let's see here. Alone, check it out. It's still on. And you know what I did also? I also put it in the freezer for a few hours, and it actually worked fine. No problem at all. Yeah. For those of you that may be new here, I don't review a lot of things, but if I do review something, it's because I really think it's worthwhile. I'm not going to review something for you all just to review it, to try to make a few pennies off of a sale. I really have to think it's really worthwhile, and that it's something that I would personally buy. All right. I mean, full disclaimer is that I didn't pay for that, but I was going to order some more just for myself because I think they're worth it. You know, but if I reviewed that and I didn't think that it was good enough for me to buy it with my own money, I wouldn't review it, and you would never even know about it, at least not from me. What's there to talk about the Epstein files, to tell you the truth? What's going to happen and to who? You know, in all honesty, you know, like, it's a waste of time. It really is. I mean, look at how long it's been since this stuff all started. And, you know, and people get up on a 10. Nobody's going to go to jail, ladies and gentlemen. That's all there's to it. Ain't nobody going to go to jail. Do I hope that people go to jail? Yeah. I hope that these disgusting people go to jail. Let the ships fall where they fall. All right. If we're going to have a constitutional problem because so many congressmen and or congresswomen as well, because some females were guilty as well. If we're going to have a problem constitutionally speaking, so be it. Put the country under, do the Insurrection Act, have the military be in charge for a year, and until a new election can be held, and we can have people in there that are Americans that love this country, that are of moral values. If that's what it takes, so be it. All right, but ain't nobody going to go to jail. I mean, how long have the Clintons been? Have they been roaming free? You know. Anyways, don't. I'll go on a tangent, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm on high blood pressure medication. I can't be getting all riled up. All right, so hey, good try, Garrett. Good try getting me all riled up. Okay, but that's the thing. Ain't no one going to go to jail. You know, there's so many people implicated. I mean, the J.P. Morgan guy, Jamie Dimon, whatever it is, Jamie Dimon. That guy's, it's nothing's going to happen to these people. They're too strong. We've allowed the system by which we're governed, which is government and the banks, because believe it or not, we are governed by banks. We have allowed that system get so strong on our backs, on our labor, that in order to stop them now, it's going to take a revolution. And the fact of the matter is that it doesn't have to be a violent revolution. You know, I've heard this phrase said a lot of times, saying that in history, whenever there's real change, it's always been by violence. I don't believe it has to be a violent revolution, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that if we come together as a people and we realize who the real enemy is, that we can all agree to disagree on some things, but we can all agree that our country is worth saving, because it's not us that's the problem. It's the 0.001 that are sitting up there on Capitol Hill and all of their handlers. But it's not going to happen, you know. So yeah, talking about that stuff is just, to me, it's a waste of time. I would love to see people in orange jumpsuits. I would love to see a whole bunch of people in orange jumpsuits. But I mean, look at Comey. Comey lied 100%. He was 100% guilty. Is he in jail? No. Look at that other lady. She committed a crime. The same crime that she was trying to convict Trump for. She committed the exact same crime, except she really committed it. Is she in jail? No. Ain't nobody going to go to jail. When they go to jail, I'll be thankful that they are. But as far as I'm concerned, no one's going to go to jail. I cannot tell you how long those plates are going to last. I can only assume for a very, very long time. I would say that those plates are kind of like the same thing as the, as those rods that they put in water heaters, that help to keep the water clean. It's kind of like that. It's not the same thing, but it's kind of like that. So I think they'll last a very long time. But what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to leave that light on all the time. I'm going to leave it on all the time. I want to see how long it lasts. So it's going to stay on even after this live stream. But even if the plates don't, let's say that the plates will only last 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours is a really long time to have a light on, right? However, if you have to change the plates out on those, it's like $3 and change. A lot cheaper than buying a set of batteries, right? So let's say that you have a flashlight. No, I don't have a flashlight here. I have one up there. Let's say that you have a flashlight, and in any one given year, you spend $4 on batteries for that flashlight, which is very easy to do nowadays, right? So the plates for that will last a lot longer than batteries will. And you don't need batteries. You don't need to charge them. And they're only like $3 or $4 for a set. So yeah, I think it's very well worth it. I think that little flashlight is very well worth it. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of like the same thing. It works at below freezing temperatures. So it may be somewhat of the same concept, but man, I just really like this one. I had one of those shaker batteries too that you're talking about. I actually had given that to my, years ago. I had given that to my mother-in-law. May she rest in peace. So yeah, I had one of those, but I think that this is a lot better, to tell you the truth, Loam. Let's see. D asks, I'm thinking about buying silver, but I don't know how to sell it. Wherever you bought it, you should be able to sell it, right? So, like for example, there's a coin shop right here, where I used to buy my silver at, and if I want to sell some, I go back there. They'll be more than happy to buy it, right? You can sell it at pawn shops. You can sell it at jewelry stores. There's places that take silver everywhere. All you got to do is just look around. Let's see. Oh, they say there that the plates last 200 hours. I guess I didn't read in depth to it that much. I'm usually not the kind of guy that reads the instruction manuals that well. Yeah, I think that's a great deal. I mean, 200 hours is a long time. Yeah, I think that's a great deal. I really do. Let me see. Your Amazon has Faraday fabric. Do you use that, and how? I do have some of that, not on me right now. I might be getting it sometime in the future. But all you do with that is you just put it over whatever electronic it is that you want to protect against any electromagnetic currents coming in. It's really easy to use. Does it work? I don't know. We've never had an EMP or a coronal mass ejection in my lifetime, at least. So the science behind it says that it does work, that it will work. But a lot of people ask me, well, what's going to happen when a CME happens, coronal mass ejection, that takes out the power. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen to the electronics. I don't know if every car will be decommissioned on the road if they're above a certain year of manufacture. I don't, and not too many people really do, unless they work in the secret squirrel department of the government and they actually do know that. So, but I don't. But I mean, you can get prepared the best that you can. Let's see, John. How you doing, John? I saw you say love your program, so thank you very much. But I think you have a good comment here. Oh, you're talking to Evita. Stock up your preps high and wide. It will be worth more than gold. Yes, it will. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, John. I really appreciate it. Piggybacking off of his comment, precious metals is not for the SHTF. Okay, that's not what it's for. Neither are your preps, but your preps are much more important for a major crisis. For a major crisis, your preps, your food, your water, your self-defense, your medicine, your toilet paper, baby wipes, whatever, batteries, your ion lights, these things that allow you to sustain your standard of living, meaning allowing you to drink clean water, allowing you to eat on a regular basis, having your medicines, having some band-aids, etc. These things are, in my opinion, the most important. The role that putting away or preserving your wealth plays, the role that this plays is having something that can be used as money to start over with. All right. Now, there are some instances in history where people use this in the middle of an SHTF. Venezuela is the one that I can remember the most. Germany, in Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, there were times where people would actually mine tenths of an ounce of 1 gram of gold a day in their backyards to get a cup of wheat so that they can eat. So that there are recent, examples of people actually using precious metals to get through a huge economic crash or financial collapse of their monetary system. But I bet you that in all of those instances, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, even back in Germany, in all of those instances, they would have loved to have had a year's worth of food supply put back. So absolutely, yeah. Kevin is in the house from Lakeland, Florida. Welcome. Oh, man, I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. I got to get back in the groove of this. Would you buy little gold coins for, I guess it depends how little they are. Elk hound, it depends on how little they are. Are they 1/10 of an ounce? Are they a 20th of an ounce? Are they a grain or a gram? So it just depends. It depends on what size they are. In all honesty, I don't care what the coin looks like as long as it has a good price, a good premium on top of the spot, right? I don't care what they look like, really. I'm not in love with gold or silver. I'm not in love with this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I just feel that it is very important to have it to keep the government from stealing from you the wealth that you earned throughout your life, right? Because fiat currencies only do one thing, and that is they steal from you your labor. The time that it took you to earn that money, they steal that from you little by little. All right, hey, Linda Bob, have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you for joining in. What time is it? I'm not that far behind today. Oh my God, for real? I can't believe that. Achilles sword. Should I grab 10 Morgans right now for $860? I can't tell you what to do, my friend. I cannot tell you what to do. So a Morgan, I would say no. I'm not giving you any financial advice. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever I say that, don't get upset. I have to say that because I'm on the internet. I have to, all right? So I'm not giving you any financial advice, but I would say no. I would not pay $860 for 10 Morgans because a Morgan silver dollar is not 1 troy ounce of silver. A Morgan silver dollar has, I believe, about 70.7215. So let's say roughly 3/4 of an ounce of silver in it. All right. And you can go and buy yourself more than likely a 1 silver round. All right. You can buy one troy ounce silver round right now for, depending on where you go. Like if you go to the local coin shop right here in Fairbanks, Alaska Rare Coins, you're probably going to pay $2 or $3 over spot. Right. So you can probably buy a full ounce, depending on where you go, for less than $90 for a full ounce, where 10 Morgan silver dollars, 10 is only giving you 7.2 troy ounces. So I wouldn't, I wouldn't. And it's kind of funny that because a Morgan, unless they have some numismatic value, because a Morgan silver dollar is considered junk silver, just like this quarter. And right now, $1 face value of constitutional silver or junk silver is going for about 65 bucks, $65 or so for $1. So no, I wouldn't pay that for it. Can we search within your link? Go to my last video. Go to this morning, Angela. Go to this morning's video, and go to the comments section. And I pinned it on a comment. If you don't see it, then go to the description of the video, and it's on the top. All right. Where do you go to buy silver, Rudy? I go to the local coin shop. I go to Alaska Rare Coins here in Fairbanks, Alaska. Been going there for a long time now. Those guys are my friends now. They're not even associates or nothing like that. They're my friends. Jim, Jerry and Dick, they've been there for a really long time. And something that a lot of people, even from here in Fairbanks, don't know is that Jerry, he's one of the co-owners. Him and Dick own it. He used to be the mayor of Fairbanks a long time ago. But those two guys are great guys. Great. Whenever I go there, and if I'm buying something, which it hasn't been a lot lately, but if I'm buying something, I don't need them to check it. I don't even check it. I know it's good just because it's them, you know. And when I bring something there to sell them, they don't check it either. You know, they just take it. You know, that's the kind of relationship we have, and that's what you want to do. You want to find somewhere that you can have a good relationship with the people behind the counter. Right, to the extent of like what I have with them. Like I said, I consider them my friends. You know, they can ask me for a favor, whatever they need, and I will do my best to help them because they're my friends. Let's see, Thomas Odell, how you doing? Hi, from your old stomping grounds, Fort Lewis, Washington. They now they tax silver and gold purchases. Poor Washington. It used to be really, really nice when I lived there. Hey, Thomas, I used to live in Tumwater, if you know where that is. Tumwater was the very first town ever established in Washington. I can't say what it's like now. I don't hear very many good things about that area or Washington in general these days. But when I was there, it was really nice. I was even considering retiring there until I came to Alaska. Let's see. Oh, Gary, what are you sorry for? Oh, you're sorry about bringing my blood pressure up. That's funny. I was only messing around with you, man. But I am on blood pressure medications, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. Let's see. D says, I am a precious metals newbie and want to buy silver. Could you advise on how to sell it if you need to? No, I'm not going to give you any advice, but what I would say is that if you bought it somewhere, you should be able to sell it to the same establishment that you bought it from. So be it if you bought it from an online dealer, I haven't found one that won't buy it back, right? If you bought it from a pawn shop, you should be able to sell it right back to them. If you bought it from a coin shop, you should be able to sell it right back to them. Yeah. Let's see. The Lambist Light says, Rudy, I'm thinking that it might be worth spending extra for freeze-dried food for long term because of other food going bad. I think that your long let me restart. Let me reboot. All right, let me reboot. I think that diversifying your food storage is just as important as diversifying your financial portfolio. So what do I mean by diversifying your food storage? All right, you should have a kitchen pantry, one that you work out of every day, right? And that pantry usually has about what, a week, 2 weeks worth of food? Great. And then you should have a working pantry, one that has up to a year's worth of food, but it's food that you eat all the time and that you use to replenish your working pantry with. Okay. And then when the food in your long-term pantry, when that starts to get down low enough to where you can fill in the gaps with stuff that you find on sale or that you can buy by the case, that's how you fill in those gaps. That's why prepping can actually save you money. After your initial investment, you're rotating that food. Well, you don't only have a week's worth of food. You can wait for beans to go on sale before you fill in the gaps, because you know you have enough to last you, up to a year or 6 months, whatever it may be. So you can let it get down to 3 months supply. And then when those beans go on sale, you can go ahead and buy the 3 months supply while they're on sale. All right. So that's one way of prepping for food for up to a year. And then you should also have, all right, another trench of food, being able to put food away for long term, is before you buy freeze-dried foods, get your rice and beans, get your pasta, get your powdered goods like powdered milk, powdered juices, because that's going to be important too. Get your oats, your wheat berries, buy them in bulk, put them in 5-gallon buckets in Mylar bag with some oxygen absorbers, seal them up and put them away. That's going to last you 25, 30 years. Get your honey, that lasts forever. Get your sugar, your salt, your spices, all right? And then after you've got your everyday foods that you rotate in and out of, and then you got your long-term bulk food storage put away, then you can go ahead and get yourself some freeze-dried foods if you want to, all right? Your canned foods, freeze-dried foods, and put those away, and you know that they're going to last forever pretty much, and that you don't have to rotate them or anything like that. So yeah, I think that you should diversify your food storage just like you diversify everything else. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, probably about another 5 minutes. Let's see. Colorado, pack route prep. If you turn that light off, do you dump? No, you can leave that. You can leave that water in there as long as you want. Now, I'm assuming I'm going to leave it on forever. So it'll be funny if the next time that I do a live stream, if it's still on that bright, I'll be like, yeah, it's still been on the whole time. I'm going to leave it on and see how long it'll last. And hopefully Ion Lights will send me a couple more. If not, I'm definitely going to buy some. But I'm going to leave it on and see how long it lasts. And then eventually it's going to have to turn off, because what salt water does is just an electrolyte. So eventually it will gas off a little bit. But yeah, I'll see how long it lasts. I'll take it apart. I will go ahead and reboot it, put some fresh water in there again with salt, and then see how long it lasts. And we'll see what happens. I'll keep you informed. All right, we're bringing it down. Hey, that's what it's for, Vester. Vester says, AP, I had to sell one of my gold nuggets to buy tires for my truck last year. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what it's for. Gold and silver are money. What do you use money for? You use it to live. So I've never shamed anyone for turning in some of their silver or gold or whatever so that they can live. All right. I don't know if you watched my video, but I did a video here this last week where I was talking about how I trench or allocate my silver stack, how I split it up and how I plan on spending it. If you haven't watched that video, go watch it, because I explain it to you, and life is part of it. Having a little bit put aside for when life happens, that's part of it. All right. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. I have seen that. It's called a water bob, I believe. I think it's called a water bob. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with those. I would definitely recommend that you get one of those. Yeah. Yeah, again, the Lambus, there's nothing wrong with that. If instead of being somewhat upset that you got rid of it, you should have, thank God for being blessed enough to have it and that it retains your purchasing power so that you can actually take care of whatever emergency you have to take care of. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I will never shame you. You can tell me right now. I can tell you right now, hey, I think that silver by the end of this year is going to go up to $200 an ounce, right? And you can tell me right now, hey man, I got to go sell my silver at $80 an ounce because I got a terrible toothache that I got to, that's what it's for, ladies and gentlemen. That's what money is for. That's why God gave us gold and silver, right? So that we can exchange with each other in a fair and honest way, in an honest way, without stealing from each other our purchasing power because of interest. So that's why he gave it to us. So if you have to spend it, spend it. That's what it's for. You know, don't ever feel bad about having to spend it. Alphonse, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Redmond salt is, in my opinion, the very best salt that there is. I love that's what I use, Redmond salt. I have a whole bunch of sea salt. I have a whole bunch of pink Himalayan salt. Those are good, great salts, all right? But I think Redmond is just the best. I love, and some people ask me, what's the big deal about Redmond salt? Isn't salt salt? Well, no, if you try Redmond salt, and then you try some other salt, you'll see that you'll taste the quality of that salt. It's so good. I think that if you go to Evita's channel, Evita Cooks, Evita, do you still have a link for Redmond salt? If you still have a link for Redmond salt, Evita, why don't you put it up on the comments in the chat section? That way, if anyone wants to go and check it out, they can using your link. And if you have a discount code, put it in the comments too. You should be able to put a link in the comments, Evita, because you're a moderator. Rudy, can you show the low-carb tortillas you use? I'm doing low-carb now. Yeah, I can get up and get it. Give me a second. Let's see. This is one of two brands that I use. They're both pretty much the same. See that? La Banderita carb counter. And here's the, in case you can't see it, one of these tortillas has 23 grams of carbs and has 4 grams of net carbs because I think it says 19 grams is dietary fiber. So, right, so 19 grams of that 23 grams of carbs, it doesn't dissolve into sugar and go into your bloodstream. It just goes right through you. And those are really good. I had one today. I made a burrito with it today for breakfast. Very good. They taste just like a regular tortilla tastes, right? And actually, if you make a burrito or a taco, whatever it is, for someone, and you don't tell them that those are low carb tortillas, they wouldn't even know because they don't taste any different than a regular tortilla. Let's see. Okay, where are we at? Oh, it's almost time to go and check out the International Stacker. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that weren't here earlier, the International Stacker has a live stream, usually at about 2 p.m. Alaska time every Sunday. Go check it out, especially if you're into precious metals, because his live streams are like going to a concert. They're really a lot of fun, right? And that's where I'm going after I get off of here. I'm going to go get me something to eat. I'm going to sit on my couch. I'm going to turn on YouTube on my TV with the International Stacker and see what happens with the markets. It's going to be like watching the Super Bowl. Actually, yeah, north of the 52nd, I tried that out. I think I showed it on a video, and it was a couple of years ago that I did that because they had been sitting out there for over a year already. So, yeah, there was absolutely nothing wrong with that rice. Nothing at all. Original packaging, nothing special. Just threw it under the seat. Nothing wrong with it. Hey, there you go. For Evitas, use discount code. Let me see. Evita. Use discount code Evita for 15% off. I'll tell you what, whoever buys that salt, you're gonna love that salt. I love that salt. I still have about 10, 12 pounds left over, so I got enough to last me a while. Yeah, I've actually seen those big blocks of Himalayan sea salt, or pink salt, made into lamps. I was even tempted on licking one of those lamps last time I seen one, but I didn't. Uh-oh, I think Lulu wants to come and say hello. Lulu, you want to say hi? Come on. There's Lulu. There's my Lulu head. You saying hi? Who loves the Lulu? Who loves the Lulu? Time for you to go potty? Okay, give me a second. Give me a minute. I'm almost done here. I got to get going anyways here. Yeah. Well, Lulu said hello. Lulu said to say hello. Let's see. Evita's site is Evita Cooks. Hey, Evita, did you put your link up there? Put your link up there before I sign off so everybody can have your link to your site. I'm not sure if I've seen that you did or not. All right. Well, hopefully you'll put it up here soon. You still have a couple of minutes after I sign off, Evita. So I do have to get going. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, thank you very much for joining in today. Thank you all. I had a great time. I hope that you enjoyed the live stream. I always have a lot of fun. So thank you for joining in. We'll have to see what this week brings. Remember that tomorrow's Monday, and I will have a video out sometime tomorrow. I got a lot to do tomorrow, so hopefully I can get it done early. But I will have a video out sometime tomorrow, hopefully early. And I do appreciate you all going on there and supporting me by watching it. And if you want to support what this old guy does, I never ask for money. Just take a look at the links under the description of my videos. And if you're going to get something anyways, then use my link, and I appreciate it. All right, because it doesn't cost you any more, but it sends a little bit of profit, or a few pennies my way, I guess you can say, out of every dollar. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for all your support. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I love you all. I'm Alaska Prepper, and I am, just a second, out.